Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to do a lot of these or this might be a one-time thing. I was just going to do a Facebook post, but I felt like I had to do a video just because this is something that's been bugging me for a long time. Alright, drive-thrus. I don't know if it's just me, maybe I have really bad luck, but I rarely have what I would consider to be a good to average drive-through experience. A good to average drive-through experience, in my opinion, would be I get in line if there's a line, I order my food, I pull up to the pay window, pay up to the food window, and get my food. All this at a pretty streamlined, flowing manner. What tends to happen is one of three things. The most common thing that happens to me in drive-thrus, and I'll combine this into kind of like a two-parter, but it's still basically the same thing. The first thing the most common thing that happens is when I am pulling up to the drive-through entrance. I can see the entrance, but I can also see another car kind of angling the same way, and there's nothing I can do to possibly get in front of that car, or unless I'm trying to wreck my car. So they're gonna get it in front of me. I accept that. So that irritates me just because there was no one. I'm talking about when no one's in line either. Like if I had gotten there first, I could have gotten right up to the ordering window or the ordering microphone, ordered and pulled right up to the next thing. No problem, nice and quick. No, but instead I get one person, just one person in front of me. That's the first half. The second half of this is this person either has one of two things going on. Either they are in a van or SUV or a packed car, lots of people, huge order. I'm typically by myself or with my wife, so it's just going to be a small order. But since I didn't get there first, now I have to wait for their huge 4, 6, 8 person order. Or they are wanting something odd, complex, specially made, or whatever. Basically, it takes them a long time at their ordering window. The second most common thing that happens at drive-thrus, at least it seems like to me, is I'll get into the line if there is a line, or I'll just get right to the ordering window and order fine. When I come around the corner, there is a car already sitting there. I wasn't waiting behind him to order, but I'm now waiting behind him for them to get their food. And for whatever reason, it seems like it is taking an exorbitant amount of time for them to get their order. Again, it could just be I came in on the second half of the first issue that I seem to have. Big car, lots of people, whatever. Whatever the reason, it just seems like I sit there for minutes and minutes and minutes waiting for this person to get their food. The third and least often thing that happens, but does seem to happen, is kind of a psych out. Because I'll get to the drive-thru, no line, get right in, order my food, pull around to the window. There's nobody there. I am the only person in this drive-thru. I get to the window to pay and get my food. I pay, and then I sit there for like 5 minutes. I've even had to go, they've even sent me around to the front of the restaurant to get me out of the drive-thru because for whatever reason, the food I ordered, which was, I never special order stuff, it's just right off the menu. I ordered something right off the menu. For whatever reason, it is taking them a ridiculous amount of time to make my food. So I have to, sometimes they'll kick me out of the drive-thru to go around to the front and wait for them to bring me my food. I know some of you will be like, oh, first world problems. I get it, all right? It's a drive-through with fast food. I get that. I'm not complaining about the fact I like drive-throughs. The concept of drive-through to me is great. The execution maybe not so much sometimes, because I consider myself a pretty patient person on an average scale. But it's just something about the fact that a drive-through, at least in my mind, should be an expedient process, or at least a smooth process of some kind, because that's what it was made to do. It was made to alleviate you getting out of your car, going into the restaurant, taking more time doing all this. Sometimes I just roll the dice, get out of my car and go into the restaurant because the drive-thru is ridiculous. But it just seems to me, it just bothers me, I think, more than anything else because it's supposed to be a smoother, quicker process, and yet more often than not, at least in my experience, it tends to be a total pain and headache. Well, okay, so that's it for my rant. I don't, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do any more. Thanks for listening. If you did, have a good one.